PRC, quality service since 1972. Repairing TVs, console stereos, electronic musical instruments, pinball machines, arcade games, and more. Call 836-0454.
I'm James Spann. This is the afternoon edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Friday, the 14th of August, getting set to sail into a weekend here. Weather relatively calm, but the tropics are a big topic today. Let's look out the window with our Skycam network. First off, from the beautiful campus of the University of Montevallo in Shelby County. Kind of a sunny, hazy summer afternoon. There's a view coming from Mount Cheaha, always a nice shot, looking right down the spine of the Talladega Mountains. And from Demopolis, looking down the Tombigbee River at the old vine and olive colony. And by the way, just north of there's actually a little isolated thunderstorm. Look at the water vapor satellite image this afternoon. You can see relatively dry air over much of Alabama, and accordingly, showers are very hard to find. Like yesterday, you can count them on one hand. That's the radar at 210. You can see that storm north of Demopolis on the Black Warrior River, not too far from Akron. And I got a couple on the eastern side of the state, little tiny showers. Those will dissipate this evening, and we'll see a gradual increase in these as the weekend rolls along, but still, much of the weekend will be dry. Temperatures upper 80s and low 90s. Numbers range from 88 at Gadsden to 93 in Montgomery. Birmingham sitting at 91. Convective outlook, nothing happening obviously around here. So let's look at the QPF chart. Rain expected through Wednesday morning at 7 o'clock, and this is suggesting about 1 to 1.5 inches here, with heavier totals down south near the Gulf Coast. And we do expect an increase in showers and storms late this weekend and early next week. But again, they're going to be scattered, so the rainfall amounts will be unevenly distributed across the state. Look at the tropics, and you can see 4 suspect areas kind of lined up all the way from the Gulf to the coast of Africa. The deal in the Gulf, that's an old front and upper trough. That's not really a deal that's favorable for tropical storm formation. These out here really catch our attention. Out in the middle of that picture in the central Atlantic, that's what's left of Tropical Depression 2. And quite frankly, it's making a comeback to some degree. And I would argue that it is a depression based on that. And then the big one out there, the big daddy, is the one that's near 30 west and 14 north. And that's the one we really have to watch. On we'll just call it Tropical Depression 2 because that's what it used to be. This is a look at the model output on 2. And again, very consistent, a bend toward the northwest with time, taking it well to the north of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola. And not all the models develop it, but the ones that do keep it at tropical storm strength. There's a look at the intensity forecast on TD2. And most of the models have it in that tropical storm category early next week. And again, we'll have to watch that now. Let's don't write that off. I know that the big attention is on the one behind it, but we'll see. And it remains to be seen if that's going to make the curve up into the open Atlantic or come toward the east coast of the United States. Here's a look at the modeling on Invest 90, which is the big one out there farther east. All the models are in excellent agreement except for a couple of outliers. They place it just north of the Leeward Islands early next week. Oh, yeah, and look at the intensity forecast. You can see the intensity scale on the left, and the time is on the bottom. And a number of the models bring this thing up to a Category 2 hurricane by early next week. And again, here's a look at analogs. Often a good way of maybe getting ideas in a storm's future is looking back at storms in the past with similar upper air patterns and positioning and time of the year. And again, number 8 on that list is Frederick. We all remember that are old enough to remember it. That came right up Mobile Bay in 1979, September 12th. But most of the other ones never made it to the Gulf. They recurved in the Atlantic or maybe impacted the east coast of the United States. So we'll see. Let's look at the GFS. This is the 12Z run at 1 o'clock tomorrow. And we got a ridge here, trough back out west, and down below that. The northern half still looks pretty dry. We get the idea that up this way, any showers tomorrow afternoon should be pretty widely scattered. The better coverage down south. Sunday, moisture increases statewide, so we should see a general increase in the number of scattered showers and storms. And Monday, pretty much the same deal. Warm, muggy, some sun, a few scattered storms. A front from Chicago down to near Denver. And the tropical look there. This is the GFS output Monday at 1 o'clock that covers the Atlantic. And again, you can see how that big wave is developing pretty nicely. We'll go to Tuesday. We'll leave it out there in the tropics. You can see Alabama in the upper left. We stay kind of moist with scattered showers and storms. The system keeps on coming. Wednesday of next week, it is right over the Leeward Islands. And then Thursday of next week, it's right over the Virgin Islands, approaching Hispaniola. And, of course, that is a very mountainous island. If by chance that thing becomes involved with that island, it often is a fierce battle. Often the island will win. And then a week from today, we'll go back to the continental United States and North America. Look there. You can see the tropical system that is over the far southeast Bahamas. And let me show the upper air pattern now Friday. This is a week from today. Look at the trough developing over the east. And, that's been the kind of persistent pattern this summer. And if we do have an eastern U.S. trough, that should turn that thing north before getting up into the Gulf. The run we showed you this morning had it coming up toward the Mississippi coast. Well, with that kind of trough, that's not going to happen if it's right. Here's a look at Saturday the 22nd. The north turn begins. It's just southeast of Miami. And on the 23rd, it is inland near Tampa Bay. And, of course, that is very problematic for our friends down in South Florida, if this is right. And that's a big if. This is no forecast. This is model output. On the 24th, the remnant low is inland near Valdosta, Georgia. And we're going to be on the dry side if this is right. And on the 25th, it goes due north up toward Knoxville and Bristol, Tennessee. And on the 26th, what's left of it is up north. And again, this is all voodoo out here. And on the 30th, end of the forecast period, end of the month, trough up north, ridging down here. And again, it looks pretty typical for late August in Alabama. But it's going to be a matter of waiting and watching, and we'll be doing that as the weekend and week rolls along next week. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes on the blog. The next video here, my next video, by Monday morning at 7. Brian Peters will have the updates tomorrow and Sunday. So join him for that. And if you're local to us, we invite you to watch us on television this evening. ABC 3340 News at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Again, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful weekend, and God bless.